Space, the never-ending shit show. These are the journeys of... No, sorry. Welcome back. Hey, isn't this great? We are back with the adventures of the Zebulon Harding. I had to get my head right because there's a lot of Starforged going on in my life right now. A ton of Starforged going on in my life right now. Playing with my kids in Fuff Space, the Adventures in Fuff Space, and did a co-op game this last weekend. Buzzard and Saul piloting a ship called The Consequences of Our Own Actions. Which name could not possibly be more appropriate for this game? But we are back. We are back with the #1 show in my heart, certainly. The Adventures of Zebulon Harding with Earl and Zeb, and a sliver of a star that I managed to pack into a spacesuit, who I'm calling Katie or Kay, something like that we're trying to deal with right now. We are trying right now. We have encountered this star-derived creature, possibly thing. Interesting, challenging, a little creepy. We are trying to get it home. And apparently, it would seem that that home is the young star incubating in a molecular cloud in the system that houses Meridian Station. Why is it light weeks, if not light years away, in essentially a dead system, populated with the graves of many ships and what appears to be a precursor vault of some kind? We do not know. I am not particularly trying to find out at this point. Probably it would have been a really good idea to go back there and maybe investigate the precursor vault, but I wasn't about to take this unknown thing in with me or leave it alone in the ship with Zeb. Didn't really want to go into a precursor vault by myself. It just seemed like a bad idea. With that said, I'm not entirely convinced that heading back to Meridian, the system, Meridian Station is a better idea, but at least I'll have friends with me. Right. So on the way back, we did our first jump. Let's find out. First jump. Progress says that it was the first jump on our way back from the grave to Meridian Station. We were this suit that the K3 is wearing didn't quite hold up to the jump and its energy signature and stuff like that. So while repairing that, we were apparently crept up upon by a ship that's trying to be a bit of a blockade runner that had kind of snuck up on us and generated some sort of massive gravity field that will prevent us from engaging our drift drive, our E drive, and getting the hell out of here. So I'm looking for a picture of this thing. Oh, that's it. They changed the way that looks? Yeah, it doesn't look nearly as cool. I like the old one. Let's look at the oracles for the ship that was intercepting us. The Timberwolf, I believe the name was, indicated that the ship was sort of an archaic design. And speaking as a former Galente pilot that tended to fly mostly for the Minmatar, nothing says archaic designs like Minmatar ships from EVE Online. So that's what I'm grabbing for this little guy that's creeping up on us. Assume this end is the front. Kind of looks like a sailing ship. Anyway, so this thing's coming up on us and is generating some kind of gravity field, apparently intent on doing us harm. I would prefer not to have that happen, but what are you gonna do? So I am going to face danger about this because I am inclined not to have to deal with this. So I'm gonna be sneaky. Zeb, I'm gonna hail these guys. I need you to quietly activate the engines in a way that's not gonna trip their sensors. I want you to have everything ready to go, but I'm gonna need you to release this in one major burst. We're not gonna jump, we're gonna push, and we're gonna push straight at them, just slightly, like 4 degrees off their hull. All right? Hard as you can, quick as you can, as they're approaching. When I say so, if I say so. All right, we clear? Big push right away. See what we can do. And I am going to try to face danger and knock these guys down and see if that gets me anywhere. So I'm going to go back over to moves. When I attempt something risky, reacting to an imminent threat with deception, stealth, or trickery. Roll plus shadow. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Even remember, I think my shadow's pretty good. I feel like I'm relatively tricky. Let's find out. What's my shadow at? My shadow's at a 2. Cool. I don't think I have any assets that go towards this. Scavenger, gearhead, fugitive, maybe. This, unfortunately, fugitive is broken right now, and it doesn't show that. I have one checkbox on this, I think, right now, and I need to get a second one, but I don't really have a way of doing that. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to just make another fugitive asset track. Goes to 3, and we're going to mark 1, and that'll be where I do that. We can make it work. Why would they be blocked? This is actually Earl thinking about this. I'm also thinking about it, but Earl is constantly trying to run the numbers on this thing. He's looking at this old ship, old design. Is that the word that they used? Was it old design? Obsolete design. Barricading this middle of nowhere kind of place. The only thing obvious to me is that they're trying to keep you from running away so they can like try to board the ship. I can't think of any other reason. Mayday, mayday, this is the Zebulon Harding. Zebulon Harding, mayday, mayday. We are requiring immediate evacuation and assistance due to reactor leak. Deadly radiation leak. We've got less than an hour probably before the shielding fails, if not sooner. Radiation levels are already getting to dangerous amounts. Mayday, mayday. Wait, is that somebody? Timberwolf, Timberwolf, I'm seeing you on our scans. I'm seeing your transponder. Timberwolf, can you assist? We have a deadly radiation leak. Now, my thought here is that this is an obsolete design. This is an era, this older ship, where any kind of radiation leak was basically a death sentence. So first, I'm going to do a face danger to see if they'll listen. If I can get them to listen, I'm going to try to compel and get them to run away, because they're probably not even shielded safely on the outside. But I'm going to do it under the guise of asking them for help the whole time, betting on them not being the helping kind. Okay, so going to roll shadow. Wait, we're going to go back into the moves and do it that way. Face danger, rolling with deception, and no modifiers. What do we got? That is a miss. That is a full-on miss. 4 against a 7 and a 9. Yuck. I have an asset that I might be using here, though. Let's take a look at Fugitive. You are hunted by a power or an authority. When you make a move, you may rely on your resourcefulness to improve the result to a strong hit. You may rely on your resourcefulness to improve the result to a strong. I'm going to do that. So we're going to go back over into the progress here, and I'm going to check another tick on the Fugitive asset track right there, which goes to 3. And I'm basically going to force this into a successful roll. And there's a pause, and then we're gonna get this really crackling kind of response. Say again. Zebulon Harding. Zebulon Harding. Say again. All after radiation. Yeah, we got a radiation leak over here. Well, we got a pending radiation leak. It's clean right now. It's reading all right. Zeb, let the heat build up where they can read it. But it's getting pretty close to the shielding coming down, and that's gonna dump a bunch of rads out here and probably kill us all. I wouldn't be surprised if you folks would be in the blast radius, to be perfectly honest. It just looks really bad right over here. I have no idea when it's go up. We just need all the help we can get. We've got a whole pile of people over here. Dozens of folks. I got all the working staff, the personnel, the individual people who paid for the trip and their guards, everything like that. We got just dozens of people over here. You got a room over there you can get us off this thing, or anything that you can use to help us repair the ship before it goes up. Any kind of help would be much appreciated. So what I'm going with here is, please help. Ship's going to explode, or big radiation burst. You're probably not shielded against that. Please help us. Oh, and by the way, if you were going to board us, there's dozens of people over here. And did I mention the bodyguards? But I'm not saying any of that as though it's a brag or a threat. I'm presenting it as part of the problem, theoretically making it a little bit more believable. And we're going to go for a compel. When you try to persuade someone or make them an offer, wait, back under face danger, I did make that a successful thing. So a strong hit, you're successful, take +1 momentum. So momentum goes up to a 7, cool. And we're going to go back down here to compel. My compel is that I'm trying to get them to go away. I am lying or swindling, so I'm rolling shadow again. I'm trying to persuade someone or make them an offer, and I am lying or swindling. What I'm trying to persuade them to do is run, because this is clearly a terrible, dangerous situation, and they should just go away. And I'm going to see if I can get them to do that. So we're going to go back down here to lie or swindle. There's our beep. And that is a... that's terrible. Okay, so that's the lowest roll I can get is a 3 against a 6 and a 7. However, I can burn momentum for a weak hit, and I will take that, I think. possibly. On a weak hit, okay. On a strong hit, they'll do what you want. On a weak hit, they'll do what you want, but their agreement comes with a demand or a complication. Envision their counteroffer. A demand or a complication. I don't know what they want. Let's go into the oracles here and see what their motivation is. All right. So character goal I got is fight injustice. Shit. I might have tried this story out on people that were actually willing to help. Damn it. Freaking good-hearted, do good and freaking... There's this long pause, and then the comms go, Zebulon Harding, continue on your course and bearing. We're coming alongside to assist. I'm sorry? We're coming alongside to assist. We have some mechanics. We believe we can help you. We're familiar with the dangers of radiation leaks. None better. We're here to help. Stand down. Maintain your same course and position so that we can align with you, and we'll send some people across. You mean like in an airlock? No, we'll just send some people across. Our airlocks are not compatible. You really don't need to risk yourself. No, we're coming across. It's fine. Let us do this for you, Zebulon. It's our duty. Oh, shit. We are Ironsworn. Fuck! Shit. Okay, this is awkward. So, okay. So with nothing else to do other than just make a run for it in the face of what appears to be help in an unhelpful galaxy, Zeb's like, Earl, what do we do? Zeb, we should do something, Earl. Yeah, I have the engines ready. Yeah, just give me a second. Damn it. Just give me a second. Zeb, maintain course and heading. We're gonna let him board. We're gonna let him board. Can you tell K3 to get someplace they're not gonna run into him? I'll talk to him at the airlock. Shit, this is gonna be awkward. Have the captain available to receive us. We would like to talk captain to captain, face to face. Oh crap. Yes, sir, Timberwolf. We'll be ready for you. We'll be waiting for you. Zebulon out. Fuck. Okay. So we find ourselves at the airlock of the ship. Earl's there. He's armed, but he's pretty much. And Earl's pulled out the medallion, the medallion that's like made from a piece of one of the generation ships that we used to conduct the Exodus. And I've got that prominently displayed because they said Ironsworn. When the doors open, we get the airlock cycles. I see through the portholes like these. They're actually coming in free fall in spacesuits with tethers on from one ship over to the other. Like it's no big deal. I mean, we've all done it, but they just seem very matter of fact about it. They get in there. There's like 3 of them. Suits are badly worn. They just show a lot of wear and tear and a lot of use. Yeah, the best of them looks like the suits that they've got on like the crew for the Firefly when they're going outside. Like they're old school. So the airlock cycles. The next one comes in. They get sprayed down. The airlock cycles, and just the wind coming off. And here's the thing that they don't talk about very much. You're in a spaceship. You don't get to air it out very often. So the wind, the air, it gets pretty stale in these cans in space. And as the airlock opens, I get a smell of like what these, so that's just a foreign smell. It's a very body smell. And as they get in there and kind of look around and everything, the first one, kind of moves and takes off the helmet. And it's basically Stephen Lang. Like it's this. He's more beat up. He's got like a scar across one. I think I got a better picture than this, or more appropriate. So like take this, but like with this, right? Lang. I'm just gonna call him Lang because otherwise I won't remember. I'm Lang, captain of the Timberwolf. It is Zebulon Harding. What kind of situation you got going on here? And I can see that he's got the medallion out, and he sees mine. He kind of squints. Is like, you don't seem like you're in that much distress, stranger. It's Earl Bassett. Earl Baxter. Earl Baxter. I'm also Ironsworn, and I'm gonna have to confess to you a little bit. I misread your intentions when you showed up. Thought you were some kind of pirate, and I made up a bit of a story. There aren't very many people on the ship, and we don't actually have a radiation leak. I took a look at your ship there, and I thought you might turn tail and run if you thought there was a radiation leak. And I've got business that can't easily be interrupted. So I was looking to get clear of you to move on, but I wasn't honest with you, and I'm sorry for that. I'm hoping that we can make our introductions and be on our way so we can move along. I've got a vow to fulfill. I've got several vows to fulfill, and they're all roughly speaking that direction. Can you speak of your vows if you've sworn yourself to silence? Well, no, I can. I can explain some of them. Some of them are going to be kind of hard to hear. Well, it turns out I thought I have some time because I thought I'd be fixing up your ship. Why don't we sit down and I can see if I. Well, to be perfectly honest, it'd be nice to talk to somebody who wasn't on the board of that other ship. No offense, gents, but can we sit down? Have you got anything to drink? Well, I got coffee. Oh, that would be a real pleasure. So we're gonna sit down. I want to have some coffee. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm not exactly sure how I want to approach this, but I think it's one Ironsworn to another. I think there's a risk here that something's gonna go sideways, just because these folks have been out here a little bit. They've been out here for a while. That said, I feel like we've got a decent chance to make some kind of a connection here. So I'm gonna make a connection. Well, when you search out a new relationship or give focus to an existing relationship, not an ally or a companion, roll hard. Alright, my approach to this is going to be that I just kind of come clean. We sit down across the table from each other, set out the coffee, he takes a drink. Oh, that's a real pleasure. My people have some, if that's alright. They kind of sit down at the other end. It's a woman and a guy, I think. Not sure their pronouns, but that's how they present. And, well, I appreciate this, so I'm coming at it with an open heart, open mind. You said you had some things that were difficult to understand. I'm going to do my best. So why don't you tell me what you have going on there as much as you can? We'll see what we can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell them what's going on. As much as I've been able, I'm just going to start from the beginning. Finding myself aboard the Zebulon Harding, talking with Zeb. Zeb say hello. He's the oversight, helps with the ship. They have these in the newer models. Still not common, Zeb. You're anything but common. Everything with Meridian Station, and I think maybe there's a reaction there, probably. And out to Glimmer, what they might be doing on Glimmer, messing with the precursor vault there. I don't really mention Paladin, but trying to get out to Jeffrey's Vega Collective, getting there and finding out that they don't trust me because of the way the ship was last heard from. Finding my way back to Glimmer, and from there out to where the ship was last seen. What was apparently another clash with Meridian, and Meridian on the way. Finding signs, I'm just going to say, finding signs that they've been interfering with the star in that system, and needing to get back there and get more proof and find out what's going on and see what I can do to stop it. These are my vows I've sworn on iron. Now my hope here is that I'm going to make a connection and they're going to be willing to help, or at least let me go. The risk here, of course, is that they don't and things get worse. Which I think is all kind of nicely rolled up in the make a connection move. I don't need to face danger or anything like that because the risk is right here. When you search out a new relationship, give focus to an existing relationship, roll plus heart. On a strong hit, you create a connection, give them a roll and a rank. On a weak hit, as above, if the connection comes with a complication or a cost. Envision what they reveal or what they demand. On a miss, you don't make a connection and the situation worsens. Okay. There's nothing else I can roll on this, so I'm just going to roll and see what I get. Whew! I got a strong hit, all on its own. That's 9 against a 7 and a 3. Great deal. Okay, on the strong hit, you create a connection. You give them a roll. And this is actually reading this the way I trusted these folks, and that's actually the way it's going to work out. I looked at the theme, the character goal, and the theme for this is a vow to fight injustice, and I got Ironsworn, and that's just pretty darn cool. Okay, strong hit, create a connection, give them a roll and a rank. Well, I have to admit, I don't hold much with these artificial overseers, and I think you're a fool for trusting them, but let's just say it feels real good to hear that there's someone else that sees the nefarious things that Meridian Station are up to and are doing something to thwart them. I and my lot have vowed to fight Meridian at every turn as much as we are able, and have been. I am the third generation that has sworn this vow. Meridian hasn't been in the system for that. No, we followed them here. They have been interfering with the true path of mankind ever since we came to the Forge. And we have been here to thwart them, which is honestly a very depressing thing to think, because Earl would like to stop these guys, and these guys have been working at it for 3 generations, and all they have to show for it is a shitty, outdated ship in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't bode well for my success. However, I am going to make a connection. So we're going to say that this is... I'm just going to say his name is Lang, and he's in location. He is in Burrow system. Descriptors: harsh, scarred noble, leader of a faction of generational Ironsworn who have vowed, somewhat unsuccessfully, to thwart Meridian at every turn. Roll warrior +1. Alright. He is going to be, I'm going to say he's least formidable in terms of any of that. Well, I can't say I'm going to be one to turn the tide against this, but I'm going to do what I can. I have something I want to show you, and I'm going to take him to meet K3. Just the space with the glowing thing. What the hell is it? Well, I think it's an intelligent being. Say hello, K3. Hello, 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 Earl, and a new friend, a new someone. You are like him, and less like Zeb, but more like Earl. Welcome, if I am allowed to say welcome, in a place not my home. Thank you, K3. It's very kind of you. I'm going to just keep talking to my friend Lang here. Are you comfortable? I am at peace with my situation. I'm going to take that as a yes. Anything that you need, you just holler. We're going to get you home soon. We think that I think somehow Meridian carved him off of that new star that they're in orbit around. They've been doing something out there. He identified himself as being that, like the way he identified himself was the code for that system before he really understood speech. That's what he knew, the radio signals, the transponder signals for system identifiers. I think that's where he's from. And somehow they brought him there in some kind of cage, some kind of containment thing. But the ship tangled with this one before I was there. Well, before I remember being there. Somehow it got loose. Both the ships fled. It's only going back there to find out what happened to the ship that I found him. Whatever. So I'm trying to take it back and see what I can find out. You think it's going to do any good? I don't know. Can it hurt to have a star on my side? Well, when you put it that way, it seems like a pretty obvious thing to do. I tell you, you aim high, Earl Baxter. Is there anything you need from us? Well, no, not at present. But I mean, if you got anything that would if you got any opportunity I wouldn't take it amiss if we could resupply. Just a bit. I used a bunch of materials up in the workshop to get that suit working so that thing wasn't dumping radiation into me all around the clock. And I'd appreciate it if you had anything like that. But if you don't, it's really no worry. Just shut up. We got plenty. And some of the stuff we get, we can't use on our ship because it's too new. So we'll give you a look here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recovery move for a resupply and see if there's any. I don't know if there's anything that I can. There may be nothing here I can use. When you attempt to bolster your readiness, envision the opportunity in your approach. If you're going to barter or make an appeal, roll plus heart. Steal or swindle, roll plus shadow. Scavengers, roll wits. I'm going to roll plus heart. And I think, just given the nature of this companion here, I'm going to give myself a +1 on that, just because of our companion. He's helping, basically. We'll see what I get. That is a 5 against a 1 and a 7, giving me a weak hit. On a weak hit, so a strong hit, you can take +2 supply. You're not already unprepared. If on a weak hit, that's the same thing, but you have to deal with a cost, a complication, or a demand. Envision the nature of this obstacle. Refute a falsehood, prove worthiness. Okay. So after what he does, he offers to let me come over to the Timberwolf and check out their supplies, what we can use. And there's some, Zeb isn't super comfortable about this, and he argues with me a little bit. And I don't so much like just order him, I talk him into it. Again, I convince him to trust me. And I turn around to see that Lang he's kind of got this look on his face like he's starting to doubt the trust he's put in me. But then he kind of looks at me and his face kind of clears. Like, let's get going. So we get over to the ship, kind of going through things, and I'm people have kind of welcoming like a family member home because it's an Ironsworn, right? We're coming through, and I'm looking at him, talking and explaining everything, and the stories kind of circulate and everything like that. And it's well received, but underneath that, there's like this low murmur, this kind of thread, this undercurrent of like a rumble of displeasure, something that they're not happy with. There's more and more as I look around, there's kind of darker looks. And I kind of bundle everything up, and the people that I'm with nearby seem to be pretty happy with me, but they're also kind of looking nervously at these other people who are giving me kind of dirty looks. And when I come back and I see that the way out of this space in the ship, it's a big old ship, into this big old cargo hold is kind of blocked a little bit. I kind of come up, thank you for your kindness, much appreciated. Just silence. Probably better be on my way then. And there's not really any response. I kind of look around for Lang, and he kind of comes around through through the crowd. Something the matter? Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. We come from an old line. Some of us, our families have been Ironsworn since the Exodus. Since during the Exodus, when the first vows were taken. That was long before there were overseers, when only human minds were those that were trusted. Some of us here, and I can tell he means himself, at least in part, it doesn't sit too well that you treat one of them like your equals. You gotta use it to run your ship because you got the thing is so newfangled that you don't have any people with you. Well, that's fine, but the thing damn near gives you orders. It just doesn't feel like the kind of person who is really on their own, is really calling their own shots. If they have a free will, it just doesn't seem like the kind of thing. Maybe they're the ones. Maybe it's the ship that's ordering you around. That just seems upside down. So what kind of will have you got there, Baxter? Earl? That's what we're wondering. That's what we're curious about. Now I know about these people, and I know I've heard the stories of these kinds of old orders of the Ironsworn, that kind of thing. I've heard how things used to be, how things still are in some, I would say, Earl probably would describe it backwards areas of the Forge, but so he kind of ponders his options here, and I'm going to do something stupid. So the way I see that I need to prove myself to this group is I need to prove that I'm my own person, that I'm going to do what I want, and that I'm not going to back down from this, and that I'm the kind of person that they're going to respect, which means I got to be a fight-picking moron, sort of. That's sort of my approach to this thing. There's gonna, I rolled on a couple of oracles here, and I got the fact that they shun or distrust machine intelligence. They're not really trusting that I'm actually leading, and I got to prove my worthiness, refute this falsehood that they've got here, that it's the ship calling the shots, that it's not me, or that it's somehow wrong that I'm working with these things. And about the only way I can do it is to just, prove it to them. The easiest way that they're going to understand. So first thing I do is I start kind of looking at him, and and I just let the laugh build, and I just laugh and laugh until I can get Lang laughing with me, as it just kind of builds. He may not really believe it, but he kind of believes it. And as soon as I really got him laughing and we're just kind of looking at each other and kind of shaking our heads a little bit, I'm going to drop that bag full of supplies and I'm just going to take a big fucking swing at this guy as fast as I can and just throw everything I can into knocking him flat on his ass as fast as I can. I just hope he doesn't see it come. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do, rather than doing this as a big fight, I'm going to do it as a battle. And I'm going to fight using trickery to befuddle my foe, which means I get to roll plus shadow. I don't have any assets to help me in a fight. This is very different from my Ironsworn game, where every asset is just about aimed at a fight. I don't really have anything to help me in a fight, which is just fine. I'm just going to do my best. I'm only going to do this with one roll, and we'll see how it goes. No modifiers. Here we go. Big swing. That's a strong hit. All right, that is a 5 against a 1 and a 4. When you fight a battle, and it happens in a blur, envision your objective and roll. If you primarily, so blah, 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 blah. All right, so here's what I do. I drop the thing, and I just swing, and and he kind of rocks back, but I'm going with this guy, the actor, as he appeared in, Avatar. That's what it was. So this guy's he's old, but he's cut. But I am just going in there, and I'm going for a big old swing, and I immediately, he starts to rock back, and I punch him in the throat, and I am just doing everything I can. I just punch to the throat, kick to the groin. He starts to get up. I take a couple of shots. I absolutely take a couple of shots. But then I get him, but he knocks me back a couple, but I wasn't really going back. I was kind of rocking back and dropping down, but I came back up with some of the crap that I had in the bag that was just open. And I get a good shot into his midsection with a big old heavy piece of metal or something like that. And then another knee, and I toggle him down. And I don't punch him so much as get him in some kind of submission hold. I'm starting to choke him out, right? And a couple of the guys start to come and help, and he's waves them off, and I'm still going. And it's I ain't very good at this, but that just means I'm good at cheating. You're gonna let me go? You can keep the damn supplies. I don't need anything. You let me go, and we're all just gonna part nicely. Because let me tell you something. If I tell that ship that you don't respect that much to open fire, it will. And I don't think this bucket of bolts is gonna hold together if I decide to. So you better back off. And that fucker starts laughing again. And I'm kind of surprised enough by it, but I actually let him go, and he kind of rolls off, and he's coughing and laughing and aching, holding his ribs, and he's just chuckling and shaking his head. He gets up, holds out his hand, and after some consideration, I take it, and he holds it up, and he's like, turns around every way. This is Earl Baxter, and he is Ironsworn. And everybody like, ah. Strong hit, you achieve your objective unconditionally. You and any allies who join the battle can take +2 momentum. Alright, I'll take +2 momentum. Fucking A. That may be the only fight that I ever win in this entire game because I have crap stats for it, but I will take it. Look at that. Look at that. So it took a little bit of doing, and I come back in with a cut lip and a bruise on my cheek and like everything else, and Zeb's like, "Are you alright, Earl?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Just had a conversation with my good friend Lang." I wonder, connection moves. Develop your relationship. I didn't swear a vow to undertake a perilous quest. Didn't complete a quest to their benefit. I leveraged their help in desperate circumstances. Yes. Didn't give them anything worth. Sharing a profound moment and overcoming a test of the relationship. I think I'm going to give myself 2 of these. I leveraged their help in desperate circumstances that I overcame a test of our relationship. So I'm actually going to take a couple of bits of progress on this connection here. I don't think I'm ever going to get a lot of opportunity to move this thing forward, but sure, why not? And with that, I'm going to signal, and they're going to give me a couple of places around. I think they're going to give me a couple of places around the sector where they might be found, or their people might be found. I'll keep those in my head. I'm erasing any records in the ship. I'm going to ask the AI that you don't trust to erase any records of this encounter from our travel records so they don't have any idea of where to come to the system. We didn't encounter anything here is what I'm saying. It's just an icy old asteroid belt. Thank you very much for your help and your friendship. Till we meet again. Alright. Zeb? Yes, Earl. Let's keep moving. And I think yep, that was the first jump. Yeah, that was the first jump that we'd done because I was still working on the thing. So we're gonna wind up here and we're gonna do undertake an expedition to keep moving things along here. So off we go to our moves, and off we go to the exploration. We are going to, I'm gonna say keep under the radar. No modifiers. All right, strong hit. Undertake the expedition. At a strong hit, you reach your waypoint and envision the location and mark progress according to the rank of the expedition. Nice. So we are traveling from Grave to Meridian Station. Mark progress there. And envision the location. Space sighting. Roll twice. A massive debris field of mineral asteroids, because I rolled it twice and I got the exact same thing twice. I rolled a 62 and a 63. So just a massive asteroid field. Mineral rich asteroids. Valuable, useful, shocking that we don't have any. Well, do we have any settlements here? I'm just kind of curious if we have any settlements here. Actually, you know what? I am going to explore a little bit. Just going to poke around while we're recharging the E drive and explore the waypoint. When you divert from an expedition to examine a notable location, roll plus wits. Alright, I'm just going to check here because I've got Explorer. When you explore waypoint, take +1 momentum on a hit. Alright, I'll take that. I forgot here, I had burned my momentum and then I forgot to put it back. So I burned it to make the compel a weak hit back when I was trying to get him to run away. And then I'm back up a little bit. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to explore waypoint as a weak hit. +1 momentum on a hit. When you choose 1 on a weak hit, you uncover something interesting, but it's bound up in a peril. It reveals an ominous aspect of this place. Envision what you kind of definitely already know what that is. And I take another +1 momentum, which is fine. An ominous aspect of this place. All right. So I think we encountered this one time before. We were in an asteroid belt, and we were getting signal from people that were apparently like sort of conscripted laborers, indentured laborers, but for all intents and purposes, like enslaved. And I think we immediately see signs, or quickly see signs, that we're in the same situation here. There's another big, massive asteroid, but it is valuable, and we see signs that there's some kind of corporation, or I have to look back at my truths. Do I have them here? Yeah. So basically, there's some kind of, we're going to say that there's some kind of corporate or governing entity here, and we're seeing basically another batch of like indentured, for all intents and purposes, indentured servants that are never going to escape from this thing. We're seeing some signals Probably it's like a warning buoy or something like that to let us know that this entire territory is part of the chance is the system. Is that the system? That's the name of the system. All right, so we're gonna call this we're just gonna call this like a corporation, like Grey Bruna. Grey Bruna. So it's all right. So let's get this in here. For chance belt, mineral rich asteroid belt controlled by Grey Bruna, a powerful mining syndicate with criminal ties from another sector. Earl, what are we doing? Nothing. We can't do anything yet. But Earl, not yet. Sometime. We'll be back. See what we can do. And I'm going to, with that, you know what? I'm going to roll one more time and then we're going to call it. So with that, we're going to get back into our sheet. Undertake an expedition. Once again, keeping under the radar. And that is a weak hit, 6 against a 1 and a 6. So we're going to stop there because on a weak hit, as above with this progress test, so you reach a waypoint, envision the location, mark progress, but the progress costs you. Either suffer costs en route or face peril at the waypoint. All right, so we're going to go over here and go down to the space encounters. What do I see? It is a more mineral asteroids. Man, more mineral asteroids. The spaceborne peril is nearby settlement calls for help. Okay, so a jump, and we're clearly in a different asteroid belt. Not sure what, but it's different. I'm going to think about that for later, next time, on how this is different than the mineral-rich asteroids we're looking for, but something different about it. And it's like, oh good, more asteroids. And Zeb goes, Earl, we're getting a distress call. It seems to be recent and urgent. What do we want to do? And that's where we're going to stop. So we've dropped into our third jump. We have made progress. I want to make a note that we've made progress on the jump again. But we have someone who is calling for help in this asteroid belt, and we are going to need to explore the waypoint to figure out what's going on at this new asteroid belt. This sector is getting crowded, guys. Space is big, but it's also kind of crowded full of stuff. Interesting. All right, so next time up, that's what we're going to do. Wow. This game continues to surprise me with really cool encounters. I was not expecting to run into an Ironsworn group, get help, or have to fight my way back out of it. It was really cool. Thanks everybody for staying with me. I feel like we're slowly closing it. This feels so much like a Mass Effect game. So like we keep having these random encounters, and I feel like my goal, I'm wearing a Mass Effect sweatshirt today, back from when I weighed a little bit more than I do, by a bit. But it's still warm and comfy. Anyway, this feels like a Mass Effect game that you keep running into all these random sort of NPC encounters, and then towards the end, they kind of all start to come together, and they're all there in the big penultimate, or the big ultimate, like, showdown at the end, I hope. Fingers crossed. Let's see what I can do with that. But in the meantime, this is what we're doing for now. I'm going to stop recording. Thanks, everybody. This was session 20. We have done 20 freaking sessions of this, and it just keeps delivering. I would never in my life have thought, even 4 years ago, 5 years ago, certainly not 10, I encountered some of these other solo games that people had designed back then, that I would ever run into a solo RPG where I could have any kind of enjoyable, even momentarily enjoyable, but consistently enjoyable, surprising, engaging time. I cannot recommend this game enough. It's so freaking good. It's so good. Thank you, Sean Tompkin. I've said it before, I'll say it again. What a good game you have done. Several games that you have done. Outstanding work. Anyway, cheers all. I will see you soon.